Hey there everybody, it's Mark Crilley. I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be doing a paper craft project. We're going to make a sort of pop-up Totoro bus stop Christmas card. Which sounds a little crazy, but that's what I'm here for. Now, I've got a piece of Bristol board here. Just try to find the thickest piece of paper you can rather than just ordinary office paper. People like to know the measurement of what I'm working at. It's 5.5 inches across. That works out to around 14 centimeters. And then the main thing down here is to get a good 3 inches across the bottom there. Again, in centimeters, that works out to around 7.5. Now, as for this one, just eyeball it. You don't have to worry. A lot of this is going to get trimmed away. You just want to have enough height that you can get Totoro in here, okay? Now, I'm going to get going with some basic guidelines. We're going to begin by drawing the bus stop sign that goes over here on the left-hand side. All right, so you can see I got a basic circle here. You know, you could trace around like a nickel or something. A coin would give you that shape. I've made this quite thick because it needs to stand up when I trim around here with the scissors. Making this pole a little bit on the thick side will help with making that sturdier. And then, yeah, just create some kind of a base down here. Now, it's time for us to draw the girl Satsuki, who is standing there before Totoro comes along to join her at the bus stop. All right, so quite a simple shape here. I guess the main thing is to notice the height of the umbrella as compared to the sign, maybe just a little past the bottom of that sign. I've got a big, simple shape here for Satsuki's head, and I got her elbows kind of coming out at the side because she's got her younger sister on her back, May, and her boots are going to be coming in here eventually. And I'm going to put her in a nice Christmassy red coat. This whole thing is going to have a Christmas theme to it, so not exactly looking like the scene we saw in the Totoro movie. Let's go ahead and get to the star of the show, Totoro himself. All right, so I thought I'd jump in here just to give some tips about this. He's about twice the height of Satsuki. All of this, don't worry too much about getting things perfect. You know, anything in the ballpark will be fine. This is the sort of crescent shape of the umbrella, just like Satsuki has, only a little larger. And you're going to get the 2 ears here. This I'm going to put like a Christmassy hat on top, so don't worry too much about getting all of this in place, because it'll just end up getting erased later on. But yeah, now we can just head on to finishing the actual drawing of Totoro. We're going to get the eyes, we're going to get that big sort of belly area, and the arms in place. All right, so you can see the eyes very widely placed on the head, and the arm here is kind of cutting in front because he's going to be holding the umbrella right here. And you got this big patch that's sort of the lighter colored area of Totoro's belly. You'll notice that I've put the arm coming quite close, kind of behind Satsuki. This is like a structural plan to get this to be one solid shape and have it stand up. It makes a bit of a challenge as we try to cut this out with scissors later on, but I think we can manage that. So let's go ahead and get into refining the details by way of real-time line work. Now I'm going to come in here and draw a band right across the middle, and this is going to be where if you're trying to make it look like the real Totoro, you're going to have 3 different Chinese characters here, or kanji, that are maybe saying which bus stop this is. And then I decided, because I want this to be Christmas themed, that I'm actually going to put a little snow on top of the sign. That is, optional for sure, depending on whether you want to make this a Christmassy thing or not. The other thing that you need to add is that there's a sign here that I think has the schedule of the different times that the bus will stop here. Does it include the cat bus? I don't know. I think that's it's top secret information. Only the children can know when the cat bus arrives. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and put this square into place, and I'll just put a quick little almost chart kind of a thing here that would sort of signify the different times that a bus will come along. Now what I'm going to do here is try to patch in a little graphic that shows what those characters look like if you want to try to copy them. I'll just go ahead and do that right now. If you want to do like a screen grab or something that would help you to hold on to that and study them if you want to try to copy these characters. So there you see, that's what it looks like. I'm going to hold off till I get to the inking stage before I get into that stuff. But we get over here to the area of the umbrella, and I'm going to go ahead and add some snow on top of that as part of my wintry theme. And then I guess it's time here to go ahead and get the boots in here and sort of get this area of her arms that are going around May. Maybe I should zoom in. Hang on, I'm going to zoom in a little closer here. Yeah, hopefully this will allow you to see a little better. So yeah, just get these boots in here that are her younger sister May, who got real sleepy, and a good sister that she is. She gives her little piggyback ride and allows her to doze off a little bit there. I am doing a greatly simplified version of Satsuki. Just get a little bit of her hairstyle coming across the forehead. Going to give her nice big dots for eyes. It's up to you how detailed you want to get with this stuff, and just give her a cute little smile. You probably could get away with having no nose at all. But what we need to do is to get Satsuki back here, and in the movie she had a hood, like a raincoat hood, that was covering the top part of her head, and we're just going to sort of sneak in like sleepy looking eyes because she has actually fallen asleep, and maybe just a little hint of her shoulder there. Let's go ahead and get she can't actually hold the umbrella because she's got her hands around her, holding May, her younger sister. So you actually see the handle just kind of propped up on her shoulder, I think. And I'm going to put a couple of dots here that will be for this coat, which, like I said, is going to be a little kind of Christmassy. I'll make it red and white and make it like a Santa Claus-y kind of type of color scheme there. I'll give her the same sort of red and boots with white trim to keep going with that sort of Christmassy vibe, and I think that gives you everything you need, really, for a nice simplistic. Let's go ahead, though, and refine the umbrella just a little bit. I'll get a 3-line structure there and maybe curve this, break this line up to make it a little more umbrella-like. And that takes care of that. Now let's move on to drawing Totoro. He's going to do the same thing. Oh, hang on, I got to refocus so you don't miss the details. All right, so like I said, I got the same idea of putting snow on top of the umbrella, turning this into, it really is going to be like a Christmas card. And I'll go ahead and do that same 3-line structure that I did and break up this line to make it look a little more like an umbrella. And then, like I said, I had the idea of actually putting a Santa Claus cap on Totoro so as to really accentuate the Christmassy theme here. So I'm going to have that cap sort of cross in front of one of his ears, like it's sort of curving over a little bit like that. Then let's go ahead and get the dots in the middle of the eyes. The nose, interestingly, is pretty high up on the face. It's sort of between the two eyes rather than below them. And I'll go ahead and get a happy smile for our little Santa Totoro here. And put maybe 3 fingers or claws coming across here that are going to be holding his umbrella. Try to get that pretty near the center. I think I kind of cheated it here. It's a little too far off to the side. Maybe you guys can fix that when you do your own versions. But let's go ahead and get this one in, because he is holding the handle of the umbrella, like so. And one thing where I really am going to cheat from the original Totoro design is I'm going to make the whiskers a lot shorter, because I'm cutting this thing out of paper, and if they extended past the contour line of the body, that is not going to work in terms of trying to cut things with scissors or whatever. So we're cheating things just a little bit there. All of this is a cartoony version. And then, to make it really look like Totoro, you've got this two rows of this interesting triangular shape. And you can, well, I'll go ahead and do the bottom row first. And if you start in the middle, that can help you center things here. And you do 2 on the far side. This allows you to get 5 evenly spaced arrow patterns. And there's 5 at the bottom, and then there's 4 on the top. Now, because of his arm, you can't see all 4 of them, so that actually frees you up to kind of just wing it a little bit and not have to get too concerned about the spacing of that. I'm going to quickly erase the guidelines here that helped me get those lined up. And then we got to add some claws here for the end of that one arm, as well as kind of the feet, which you really don't see much of. He almost just looks like a big egg resting on the ground. And believe it or not, that is kind of it in terms of the line work. You may see when I get in here to ink that I'm going to sort of make him look a little more furry in this area. I'm not going to make him furry on the edges just because that would be such a pain to cut out. So yeah, we're going to sort of simplify things in terms of his contour line. But that is basically it, and what you're going to see me do now is to add the color all in time-lapse, plus the inking, shading, all kinds of stuff, and then we'll be back to actually cut it out and maybe prepare this background thing, which will allow us to turn this into our little pop-up Totoro Christmas card. Alright, so I've completed the coloring process, and I used watercolor, colored pencil. You could use markers, you could use any kind of medium that you prefer. But one thing I want to show you is before I cut this contour out, I am going to take a pair of scissors and just sort of score along this line, because we want to be able to bend these characters up in a nice smooth way, and so doing that helps that right there, and there to help it bend more easily. So what I'm going to do now is kind of detach this. I had it taped down just to keep it so that it was always facing toward the camera in the right way. But I'm going to go ahead and remove this so that I can take my trusty pair of scissors here and start cutting all along just this upper part, not the lower part. We don't want to separate from that. We keep it in there. You can see me beginning the process of cutting right along the edge, and I'm going to do the rest of this all in time lapse, and then I'll be back to talk about the background that is really quite a lot simpler to do than this foreground was. All right, well, I've got it all cut out now, and I did use a sort of a hobby knife here for getting this last part out. You could do it with a pair of scissors, but I think would be pretty tricky, to be honest. And because we've scored this, it's going to be a lot easier to make these guys stand up. But before we get to that, I want to show you the background that this is going to be glued to. Now, this one has to be a little larger. You can maybe see proportionally how I've done this. Let me move the camera back just a little bit here on the fly so that you can get a sense of the size and shape of this thing. It really is just the same width of paper cut a little taller so that you get about an inch or so of extra space there. And then I just decided to make it go right down the middle. Now, you could take blue marker or blue paint to color in the sky. I decided just to take a piece of construction paper that's going to give me a good solid blue back here. I'm going to glue that. I'm going to score this line again. We're going to glue this down here, And when that's all put together, we're going to be able to pop this up and turn it into a kind of a Christmas card. So bear with me. I'm going to glue this down. I'm going to use kind of like stick glue like this. And then you're going to see me using the white gouache add some snowflakes back there to add to the sort of feeling of the season. But let's go ahead and take care of this all in time lapse, and then I'll be back to sort of reveal the completed project. All right, well, I think that the glue has dried enough, so we can go ahead and start to pop these things up. And as I said, using the cardstock is a great way of making sure that it will stand up on its own. You can already start to get an idea of what we're heading toward here. But because I scored this line along here, it makes it extra easy to do a perfect fold on this background. Sorry for pushing you over, Totoro and Satsuki. But that should give us what we need for our little Totoro Christmas card display. Now, the last thing that I suggest doing, if you're going to give this to somebody, or you just want to give it a nice little final touch, is to write Merry Christmas along here. So I'm going to do that quickly in time lapse, and that will be the last thing we do for this video. So there you see, you got a little space there in front where you can write any message you want to, and I thought I'd just go ahead and sign this one for you all so that you can treat this as my little Christmas card to all of you. I want to thank all of you who have watched my videos, and especially those of you who have supported me on Patreon this year. I'm coming up on the 1-year anniversary of Patreon, and it means so much to me and my family to have those of you who have joined that. But I guess it is time for me to wind this one down. I want to thank you all for watching this video. I want to wish you all the very best for the holidays and for the coming new year, and I look forward to making new videos like this for you in 2023. But for now, let's go ahead and wind this one down. I want to thank you all for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back with another one real soon.